when a woman pulls away, right, starts pulling away from you, a lot of guys immediately start chasing, but he talks about it like you got to think of it like a string, you know, like attraction's a string, and you want a little bit of tension in the relationship because that tension is where attraction exists. That's what makes her want you. That's what makes her want to be sexually attracted to you. And when she pulls away, it's usually because there's too much comfort in the relationship. So she pulls back in an effort to create tension. And she's doing this subconsciously. She doesn't even know she's doing this half the time, right? So most guys start chasing, which causes the line to keep going slack, right? Which kills that tension, kills the attraction. So instead, when she pulls back, you pull back too, and that reestablishes that tension in the relationship. When that tension's there, she's going to come around on her own terms and come and sit on your lap like a cat. My cats, I never want them on my lap when I'm here in the office, and all they want, they want nothing but to be on my fucking lap all the time. And I'm like, my female cat, she's not so bad because what she'll do is she'll climb on my lap and then she'll sort of crawl up my chest and then snuggle in my chest, like, and then I can get work done. I can still do stuff while she's laying here on my chest. Like, okay, whatever, Kit, Dr. Kit Bauer is her name. And then my big orange cat, O'Malley is a big, and he will come get on my lap and then he wants to lay on my arm and cuddle on my arm. So I only have one arm to do work with. And then he's so big that he sort of is up above desk here. So when I'm trying to type, I have to type like this. So I'm not like, cause I have to reach over him. He's annoying as like, I love him though. Oh man, we're having fun today. This is the last live for the week, man. Like we have episodes on Wednesday and Friday, but this is the last live for the week. I'm kind of excited for it. Guys, get a beer club. If you haven't gotten beer club yet, go to beer.comeonmanpod.com. It's a good group of guys. There's over 50 guys in there. Guys are leveling up, getting better with women, better in all areas of their life. They're making more money. They're getting fit. They're losing weight. We got guys working on their mindset. We have a gratitude subgroup where you just practice gratitude, right? And if you are ever in a place where you're sad, depressed, anxious, if you just sit down and focus on things that you're grateful for, you'll snap out of it. You'll snap out of it because you cannot have the emotion of depression or anxiety or anger when you're focused on gratitude. You just can't do it. Your mind can't do those things at the same time. So if you stop what you're doing and just start thinking about things you're grateful for, it could be anything, right? Grateful that you're watching this podcast right now. Grateful that you have a drink in your hand. Grateful for the sky outside. Grateful for a roof over your head, whatever. Grateful for groceries in the fridge, right? Anything. That kind of stuff is awesome. And we have a subgroup in Beer Club of guys just doing that, just trying to work on their mindset through gratitude practice. And then we also have monthly calls where we hang out and just talk about stuff, but I guarantee anything you're going through in life, there's guys at Beer Club that have been through it and come out better on the other side, and they can help you through that. So get a beer club, go to beer.comeonmanpod.com. And then guys, if you want to work with me, go to call.fixdeadbedrooms.com to book a call with me and see if working with me might be right for you. But I have a new policy that I will not work with you if you haven't read the book yet. Get her to you again and at least started doing the workbook. Okay. So if you haven't done that yet, get the book first. I'm not trying to just like take people's money. I actually want to help you. But getting the book and doing the workbook shows me that you're going to do the work. I can't charge a whole bunch of money and then do weekly sessions with you and have you not do anything and then give me excuses every week why you didn't do whatever. Because you're not going to get results, and that reflects poorly on me, even though it's you that's not doing the work, right? So I have a new policy that hey, show me that you're going to do the work. All right. So if you haven't read the book yet, get the book first, start working on that, and then book a call with me. All right. All right. It's going to be a short episode today. I think I'm going to burn through this and then get off here. Let's talk about how to lead without words. And we sort of talked about some of the stuff, right? But connection doesn't require constant conversation. Doesn't. And that's one of the things I've really learned dating Nurse Chick for the last several years is that sometimes it's just nice just sitting on the couch, watching TV together, not talking. It's kind of cool. And the funny thing is I think a vast majority of guys out there would prefer if their wife or girlfriend didn't talk. At least they think they would prefer it. It's like until you get a girl that doesn't talk, then it's like, wait, what's going on? This is not usual. Most women can't shut the fuck up, right? But when you have a woman that's always shutting the fuck up, it sort of forces you to realize that, hey, this is actually kind of nice, and you don't need that constant conversation. Sometimes you can just enjoy each other's company. You can do other things together besides talking too, right? I mean, doesn't require a lot of words if you don't want. But you can be active together, right? You can go on walks, you can go to gym, you can run errands. Nurse Chick and I, we like riding motorcycles. That's perfect for not talking because you can't hear each other anyway. And we both have separate bikes. So it's just the joy of the open road sort of in solitude. And then, you know, she's driving off with you or behind you or whatever. And that's fun too. You don't have to talk with that. If you have a girl that's quiet a lot, make room for her to speak, right? Like I'll ask Nurse Chick about her day and she'll tell me about it, you know, and stuff like that. But, you know, if I don't always have to engage her in conversation, right? I try to make room for her to speak, but I don't demand that she speak. I certainly never get mad at her for not speaking all the time. I sometimes will playfully poke fun at her for it. In fact, this whole episode is me just playfully poking fun at her before. I told her about it this weekend. I'm like, Monday's episode is gonna be all about you, hun. She's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, oh, it's gonna be an episode about quiet women. And she's like, oh my God, like you want to avoid interrogation style questions. Well, you want to do that with anybody though. You don't want to be interrogating people when you're talking to them. That's terrible. You don't just like bombard people with questions in general. But specifically for women that are unusually quiet, you don't want to just ask interrogation style questions, right? Like ask one or two open-ended questions, keep things light. If she's not being overly talkative, okay, give her some space. When she does talk, try to pay attention. Pay attention when she does talk and be fully present. Guys, it would behoove you to practice that anyway, just being present with your girl. That was something that I had to work on. It took me years to work on. I still am working on it. It's like the work never stops, right? I'm not perfect at it, but trying to be present with your girl, not being like scrolling on your phone, not doing other things when she's trying to talk to you, right? I used to be so bad at that when I was with when I was married and when I was with Red Pill Chick. Those were like two of the biggest things those two would get pissed at me about, is because they were talkers, right? They both run their mouths. And they would also like Red Pill Chick was the worst about it though. She would go off on these side tangents and talk about all sorts of shit that doesn't matter, and she wouldn't get to the point. And it was always like she would start off talking about something and then just go off on all these side quests, you know, telling me all this information that doesn't pertain to the story. Like, how many of you guys like have girlfriends or know women that do that kind of crap? Like, that's very common. There's a meme out there where it's like how men talk and it's like a train track that's just a straight line, and then it's like how women talk and it's like a train track switching station where there's just tracks going in all sorts of different directions and they're all overlapping and it's just a mess. That's how Red Pill Chick was. And so she would go off on these tangents and stories, and my mind would just start wandering, and I would start thinking about problems I'm dealing with work, other things I'm dealing with, not actually paying attention. And I was just kind of going, and then she would basically get to a point where she would totally tell that I wasn't talking, and she would be like, what did I just say? Right? And then I'd be like, what? Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention. Can you repeat that? And that would fucking drive her nuts. Same thing would happen with my now ex-wife. So that was one thing that I had to work on in general, was not like being present when people are talking and actually paying attention and take a genuine interest in what they're saying. Well, if they're not saying anything, it's pretty awesome. You can kind of let your mind wander and do all this stuff because they're not talking anyway. But when they do, you really want to like set the phones down, get rid of the distractions, and try to stay focused and pay attention.
New episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Subscribe now.